Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Puzzled Minds podcast. We are joined today by a previous guest we've had before and our social media manager, Emily. So please give her a warm welcome back.
Hi. Also, I just think it's really important to mention that I am the most frequently featured guest on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, and we appreciate all your appearances that you have on this.
We appreciate the opportunity.
Today's topic is another spicy boy. It is off the charts on the caliente meter. So today is brought to you by the letter B for body positivity. So let's start off with kind of defining what body positivity is. So I try to look up, like an actual definition in a what do you call it? A dictionary.
Yeah, like Urban Dictionary. I feel like that's the only way you're getting.
No, definitely not Urban Dictionary. But like a Webster or anything like that. And to my knowledge, there isn't like a definitive answer of what body positivity is. And so like looking up on some websites and kind of gathering like what conglomerate of what people think it is. I guess the whole general theme of it is the mindset that people deserve to have a positive body image, regardless of how society or popular culture views these shapes, appearances, or whatever it is. But when you ask someone, I feel like you'll get different answers based on who you ask. Someone could say it's appreciating your body with all the flaws that you have, feeling confident in your body, or loving yourself, accepting who you are, or a combination of both, or whatever it is. So maybe it's kind of based on what you perceive as your kind of positive image of yourself. But for me, at least, I had the notion that body positivity was just loving your body no matter what, and you just let yourself go, like sitting on the couch, eating junk food all day, and not
Can't
caring.
say that, John. You're canceled.
So that's what I thought it was, but that's a misconception on my part, and I kind of wanted to address that because that's what I really thought that body positivity was.
I think that that's a misconception on the part of a lot of people, and including people who think that they're practicing body positivity. Like you said, I think that body positivity can mean different things to different people. And I think an important one to mention is that some people take body positivity as they take care of their bodies in order to be positive about it. Like their positivity is working out every day or eating healthy, and that's how they're positive for themselves. But I think that a lot of people kind of have twisted the idea and made it more of, it doesn't matter how I look, I'm just going to do what I want when I want.
Yeah.
And made it an excuse to be unhealthy.
Yeah, that's the part that I think that basically it's become, because I would have interpreted body positivity as like doing things that are positive for your body. Like you said, being healthy in some fashion. You don't have to be like super healthy, like a CrossFitter or marathon runner, but you're doing positive things to your body, right?
Right.
But so my confusion is how we've come to this point where now you have to accept someone's whatever shape or form or what's going on internally of someone's body. You have to accept that you're not allowed to say anything about it. So when did this all start? I always feel like it always goes back to social media, and I think body positivity kind of started this whole like accept me as I am, even if I don't do a single thing to benefit to like benefit my health.
Yeah. So kind of like reeling it back real quick. So I think like body positivity is kind of like a continual journey of self-improvement, feeling good mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to harp on the fact that the word is continue, because of that process shouldn't be something that you just do once you feel good and just quit it. It's
right. Like I did this once, so I'm good.
Yeah. It's like, it's something that you personally set as goals, as objectives, not at what society kind of has a spitting image of. And for the part where you had mentioned like where this call started, I want to say like back in the 60s, there was a coalition. I have to look it up because I didn't think I was going to have to know this, but it's something about like I want to say National Association of Fat something, but it started in the 60s. So this kind of dates back like a while ago. But I have to look up what the acronym is, but this has been around for I guess, for a
Wait, I
while
think
now.
you're wrong.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I'm sure that's true and that's a thing. But I think body positivity has been around since there were any constructs of fashion or any expectations of men or women at all. Like years ago, it was a huge deal if if a woman was like heavier or more
Yeah.
curvy, it was a big deal because that means they had money or they were good for bearing children and like so many different things. And like what has been an acceptable body image has evolved and changed over the years so much, and I think it's always been a thing. I just think that nobody has been so I think that it's more recent that people are so accepting of just looking a certain way and not caring
Yeah.
about themselves. Like I think it's only been twisted recently.
Do you think the issue comes from like different cultures have different views on what's aesthetically, I guess acceptable for physique for males and females, and then you are now trying to pretty much have this one universal like best physique or for males and females, and that's kind of like the issue, or is it something that it's always been here and we just are noticing it now because of maybe like social media where like being a fitness influencer is a thing now? Because before being like a I guess a models were like the I guess quote unquote like unrealistic body standards, right? And it used to be something where we used to have a big separation between, well, this person's physique, we understand it looks amazing, but they are a model. So their physique is meant to look fat, ridiculously good all the time, which is very hard to maintain. But now it seems like since everyone is a quote unquote model with the rise of Instagram and whatever, other people use, those standards have now bled into regular day society where now it feels like all of us are, I guess, not forced, but we're judged on a maybe harsher scale.
Yeah, I think those standards are upheld more I don't know, more globally. I feel like people expect that of others pretty universally now because it's so commonplace. Everyone knows somebody or follows somebody or is exposed to somebody who's
Mm-hmm.
relatable, at least that looks like that. Like relatable in some other way,
Yeah.
mind you, but that
Mm-hmm.
that looks great and takes great care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like everyone is made differently, so
Mm-hmm.
it's unrealistic. It's impossible for
Yeah.
everyone to look picture perfect the same all the time. But I do think that social media has definitely caused an evolution in
Yeah.
this whole body positivity thing.
So the acronym was NAAFA for those that are wondering. It's the National Association for the Advancement of Fat, or National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you had mentioned like social media, and you think that how that may have, I guess I don't want to say affected, but kind of made the talk for body positivity. So do you guys remember that Dove campaign in 2004?
No.
Not,
Oh.
of course, John. Yeah, look at it every day.
Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
Quote it specifically.
Yes, specifically 2004. So there was a Dove Real Beauty campaign, and they took a woman. She's having like a photo shoot, and they ended up quote modifying her to the point where it was unrealistic and unattainable beauty. And so that was just kind of like a message that Dove kind of shot out. And so they kind of did it again, like Dove did another commercial with, it's called Real Beauty Sketches. And so they kind of delved in on how we perceive ourselves and how others perceive ourselves. And so each woman that was interviewed in that little like video was subject to like an FBI trained forensic artist. And one was based on her description and another one was based on a stranger's description. So, I guess it was kind of portraying the message that, it's the standard that we have with society, I guess, isn't.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is.
I feel like it's a great example of you're your own worst critic.
Mm-hmm. But the thing I'm wondering is, when did it become, because like I guess the biggest thing I've seen with body positivity now, where it's almost become a thing where you're not allowed to basically, if you take, like for example, like if you take care of yourself, right, that's a good thing. You exercise, even people that are like really in really good shape, ripped and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that because we like to use these words unattainable a lot. If people have done it, then it doesn't mean it's unattainable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess the issue that we're saying now is that people are saying that should be the standard. That's one thing I've always argued against. I don't think it should be the standard. Like every single dude has to look like Jason Momoa and every single woman should be built like Jennifer Lopez. No. But if it's something that you're chasing and it's something that you want, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look like that. I think now there's like this I wouldn't even say it's like fitness shaming, but it's like to the point where if someone's like out of shape, I always think if someone's like, let's say like 600-700 pounds or, one of those like ridiculously overweight, that person clearly is not living a healthy lifestyle, right? And with the body positivity thing nowadays, like you're not allowed to say anything about it. Like I would never comment on somebody else's body, but I think it's okay to mention like that person's clearly not healthy. Like that's just a fact. There's a certain point where you see someone, you're like, okay, that person's clearly, whatever you're doing, I don't even need to know who you are, what you do on a daily basis, but based off what you see externally, you can clearly tell that like that person is not doing, the right things. And then I think now you get a mob of people that tend to want to defend these kind of people. And I think that's the dangerous part because promoting unhealthiness, like being like an acceptance of like, oh, no, it's okay. Some people don't have time to be ridiculously in shape and all that. It's not what we're saying. We're saying that like if you exercise even moderately, you're not going to get to the point where we see some of these people that are pretty massive. But I think sometimes it's a little dangerous when you see some women that are like clearly, or some women, or even a lot of men, a lot as well too, that are clearly out of shape, that are saying, nah, man, you need to accept this. He's like, no, you really shouldn't. Otherwise, there's no need for things like gyms.
Mm.
I agree and I disagree because I think, now, again, I don't think I've ever encountered or heard of someone who's 600 or 700 pounds that is that way due to a medical condition or issue. But I do think that there are certain conditions or health concerns that prevent people from exercising, prevent people from certain diets, and that can cause weight issues or body issues. And issues is the wrong word, but like weight differences
Complications
or body differences to both extremes. I know people who have serious dietary restrictions, like no soy, no dairy, no wheat. Literally, they can't eat anything. And they're like the skinniest, tiniest person ever. And I have experienced firsthand people insulting them or judging them for the way that they look for something that they really can't help. And I also know people who have health conditions that prevent them from exercising regularly, and they're not in horrible shape. They take care of themselves, they eat healthy, and they, again, they have a health condition. So they're still obviously very conscious of caring for themselves if they even know that they have that condition. So I think that there's a fine line where.
I wonder what is the percentage though? Like the people you just mentioned, because that's also a case we see a lot of times where a lot of people, like you said, do have those issues where, they have like, conditions or they have like dietary restrictions, but is that the vast majority of the population? Let's use the U.S. for example. I'm willing to bet that the vast majority of the U.S. population that is overweight, the majority of them don't have conditions. It's lifestyle choices.
And I agree with that, but the issue is choices. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just modifying it so it said sedentary lifestyles.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that the issue there is that nobody knows who does and who doesn't have something that's impacting how they look or how they appear or what their lifestyle is like. So that's part of the reason that it's not appropriate to say anything. And I'm the kind of person that I am really bad about holding my tongue. Things fly out of my mouth and I say dumb shit all the damn time. And it gets me in trouble all the damn time. But I also know that I've encountered people who have done the same thing to me and who, I know how that feels to like, be like, well, actually you don't know, but I'm like this, like, this is why I do this. And so I think it's important to be able to filter those thoughts. And that's why it's not okay to, to say certain things. As much as like, if someone's saying like, oh, well, you should really, exercise more. Of course that's said with the best of intentions. No one's like, I guess there's some people out there who are just being a hater, but for the most part, I feel like people are being, caring and helpful, or at least trying to, if they say something like that. It's just a matter of knowing the person and knowing their story before you put that out there.
Yeah, so I think we should clarify that, I think for most of us we say that we're not judging people for those that are trying to benefit themselves and they're still, I guess, quote
Yeah.
overweight because
Over, yeah,
there's not.
the people that are trying, there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. Like if you're trying, like there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not even talking about like, you're working out 5 days a week, like 2 hours in the gym every day. Nothing like that. I'm talking about things like I'm talking about people, for example, that don't do anything, and then they're promoting body positivity. I think that's
Yeah,
dangerous.
that are
The people that do everything they can to be in the best shape they can. There's nothing wrong with that. That's trying is the whole point. That is the whole point. The message that I think people should get from this podcast is that like at least try.
Mhm.
I completely agree. Because, like I was saying earlier, body positivity for some people, and for me specifically, isn't really about like, oh, well, it doesn't matter how I look. I'm just going to love myself no matter what. It's more like
Yeah.
I love myself by exercising, even though
Mhm.
everyone fucking hates exercising. I don't care
Yeah.
if you say you like it. That's a lie.
Mhm.
By eating healthy occasionally, even though, yeah, I would rather have McDonald's every single day. I love McDonald's, but like you can't do that, So body
Yeah.
positivity for me is taking care of myself. And I'm not in the best shape, but
Yeah.
I've been heavier before and I've been super, super thin before. And I'm happy with how I look because I know I take care of myself to a point where I'm not unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then that's kind of like that goes back to the whole beginning of how it's body positivity is personalized. And so for you, you're body positive because you are like loving yourself in however way that you are. But I think what we're trying to get at is that, you know, whatever you do with not you, Emily, but just in general, whatever you do with your body you can do whatever you want with your body. But when you start pushing ideologies onto someone else, I think that's where it becomes a problem. And so, for instance, um, there's an example of this curve model. That's what it's called, I guess. Christina, but it's I'm sorry, I don't even know my letters. KHRYSTYANA. Anyway, so she was a model on America's Next Top Model, and she says, quote, she knows firsthand how followers can turn on you. So anytime that she was, quote, thicker, she got a lot of support. And when she was looked like a, quote, more traditional model, she got less love, she got less followers, she got called out for not being fat enough, or quote, fat enough, end quote, and not being, quote, body positive anymore. And so another example is Adele. In early 2020, a picture of Adele showed up on the internet and she had lost a lot of weight. I don't know how much. She didn't really specify how much it was, but there were some people who praised her. There were some people who said that, she shouldn't have lost that much weight. But, why?
I just don't understand who in their right mind thinks that I'm sorry, do you know Adele? Like, in what world is it your business to be like, you shouldn't have lost that much weight?
That's
Or
exactly
like,
what I'm getting at. Yeah.
you're a better person now because you've lost weight. Like, it makes no sense, as a celebrity, she's putting herself out there and sharing her life enough that she doesn't owe anyone an explanation for what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that for anyone to comment on, like, I understand people. I mean, obviously, people are going to notice. She's a big figure. People know who she is. Someone's going to say something. There's no way around it. It's going to be mentioned. But for anyone to comment positive, like, as this is how it should have been, or this is not how it should have been, and like make a definitive statement that something's incorrect there is just so wrong and twisted and fucking weird. I think it's so weird.
Yeah. So doesn't
that's
that thing, like when you judge someone for losing weight, isn't that going against body positive?
It's also the same problem. Like it's the same problem. Body positivity is not only about people that are, heavier being ragged on. It's also about people that maybe be underweight that are ragged on. Because let's assume Adele, when she lost all that weight, she's healthy now. Because I saw a recent photo of her and she looks like an entirely different person. Firstly, my preference aesthetically, like she looks amazing. Like she looks healthier. I'm just assuming she's healthy.
Bod. She looks awesome.
Yeah, she looks amazing now, right? So the thing is, why don't people celebrate because when Adele's always been a beautiful woman. Bigger, skinnier, doesn't matter to me. Beautiful woman. So let's talk about like healthier. What she's healthier. She looks healthier now. The assumption is she's healthier now. And then people rag on her. That's the part that I think. That's the part about body positivity that I think that is different about bit different about when it first started. Because now it's almost like people don't like the fact that people don't like the fact that like you look better now. Because sometimes body positivity can be about like I don't feel so good about myself. I see somebody else that may have the same physique as I do that's successful, so I can relate. Now they change. Now I no longer like that person. And that's the part that I think is kind of dangerous sometimes, where it's like, so this person made a positive change in their life, and you're mad at it to the point where you want to make that person feel bad about it. And it's the
Which I
same
think
thing.
is ridiculous. You can't be mad at someone because you can't identify with them anymore. Like, I just don't get that.
Yeah, it seems to be a very double-edged sword thing. And the one thing I've noticed is different. It's different between the sexes also as well too. Because men handle body positivity one way, and I guess women handle it another way. I can only speak from the male perspective, but from what I've seen of a
Me
lot
too.
of men, when a guy goes from being really overweight to ripped, men tend not to really rag on each other. Like, oh shit, dude got fucking shredded. If anything, we tend to now look at ourselves as like, well, we need to step our game up. Well, I guess one thing I think is a cause. I think it's a symptom of what men have done to women, where women tend to kind of fire at each other a lot, and I think men are honestly at fault because of that, because we've unfortunately set these ridiculously high standards that a lot of women buy into, and now women as a result are kind of like mean towards each other. Like you see the Kardashians, they're the biggest perpetrators of this also as well too, because they to this day they'll tell you that they haven't had any body modification at all. But you can probably just fucking poke them with, a knife, and fucking silicone will come out of most of their body.
Oh, God.
But the thing is, they're telling like young girls grow up thinking like, okay, I need to have this kind of waist, I need to have this kind of ass, and like that's ridiculous.
Right. Like, this is how I can and should look.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I have nothing against plastic surgery. If you are honest, like, let's say it's for example, it's no one's business, but if you're like a Kardashian or someone that like puts your body out there, I think you have a responsibility to tell people that you had your body surgically enhanced, so that young Becky, who's 15-year old, isn't thinking that like, okay, like she can get that maybe naturally if her body can't produce that kind of physique. And that's the part where I think is ridiculous.
I do too, and I think it creates some serious self-hatred from people who think and believe they can achieve certain results just without surgery. And I think that I'm sure for someone somewhere, like I said, everyone's body is different. So I'm sure for someone it's achievable or obtainable without modification. But I agree that I don't think it should be. If someone wants plastic surgery, like, again, why is it our business? Like,
yeah,
just
go ahead.
do it. Why would anyone shame them? And why would you feel the need to hide it? Like, I'm not going to lie. If I were going to have plastic surgery, I would love to have, I don't know. I don't think I want plastic surgery, actually. If I were going to get plastic surgery, I would get a nose job. And I don't have any reason that I needed one, but I also wouldn't lie to anyone about it. Like, I'd be like, I'd be showing it off. I'd be like, isn't my nose great? Like, look how cute it is now,
Yeah. And I think going back to what you said, Emily, a lot of times the reason why people do lie about it is because I think there is still this thing about natural being better than surgical enhancements. And it's very, very kind of like, I guess, spicy topic, because I'll give an example. There's some people that have gotten cosmetic surgery, and I personally think they look better. Not to say they were ugly before, but they got something and they look better.
Like, and they feel better about themselves. So, like, that's what it all comes down to. If it's making you more positive about your body, then fine. Like, do what you got to do to be happy.
Yeah, like if you want to do whatever, get breast implants or whatever, that's perfectly fine. But I think the issue now is we have two far ends of the spectrum, right? We have one side of the society is saying like, I don't want to do anything. I'm going to do absolutely nothing, accept me. And this is how no one should say shit about how I look. And then you have the other side of the spectrum that's like complete enhancement, borderline, like cyborg mode, getting enhanced everything. And then saying, oh, I got this natural, follow X, Y, and Z to attain this. And I think that's kind of like the problem. I do like the fact that in today's society, we're more accepting of different physiques. And that's a great thing. Because back in the day, each generation I remember back in the day, each generation had the thing that they liked. Like, it wasn't like the 70s. It was like, no ass, beautiful hair. And then like 60s was like when men were like supposed to be like really masculine men, like super fucking hairy, jacked, mustache and all that. But everything was always like,
Harry.
but that was the thing. Like, remember how like each generation had a one specific, this is what the most attractive thing looks like in each generation. Now we're kind of like, we have multiple things that are attractive. And that's amazing that like most people can like, Google search somebody that has a body that is, comparable to theirs. And we're accepting of that. I think the
I
biggest
agree.
thing,
And honestly, it was inappropriate of me to even just then say, Harry. Because, like, that's my personal preference. Like, I have all kinds of different heritage that I won't get into,
Yeah.
but I'm a hairy person. Like, I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I just got in the shower, shaved my legs, got out of the shower, did my dermaplaning because I can't go to a salon right now. Like, everyone has different things and different preferences. So I think for anyone to like at this point, there are people who love men who have like hair on their face and their chest and everything. There are people who are into dad bods, and there are everyone's into their own thing. So I think nobody has any place to be like, I don't know.
but also it's okay to like what you like, though. That's the thing. That's the part that I think body positivity is not fair about. It's okay for people not to be attracted to certain things. You shouldn't be shamed for not being attracted to maybe a skinnier person or a heavier person. That is your preference. That's the part I think that body positivity is taking a wrong turn on, where now it's like you're not allowed to not accept something, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's bring in some plus size models, and I want to see how we go with this, because let's talk about Tess Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I don't know who that is. Am I an idiot?
No,
She's not really,
you can just look her up on your phone real quick.
Yeah, like Tess Holiday is like not. I wouldn't say it's a person that like everyone knows. So don't feel
okay.
like,
Yeah. So anyone that's
She's got
that's
cool
listening right now-
tattoos.
yeah, and so here's the thing. Like we said before, we're not saying that she's not beautiful, but what we're saying is that when I don't know.
Like, yeah, for you listeners, you have to Google Tess Holiday because this is going to make all the difference.
Yeah.
To kind of like for John's explanation.
So I don't know if she's pushing the notion of like being unhealthy. I don't know that. But what I'm saying is that I'm going to say this.
She's actually gorgeous. She's got amazing eyebrows and her hair color is
beautiful
so
woman. I guess I think I can kind of figure out what John's trying to put, I guess politically correctly, is that she would be healthier if she were lighter. She's a very big woman.
Yeah. And if that's how she is happy with herself and that's how she feels best about herself, and the person she's with or wants to be with or whatever, not that should really matter, but is attracted to that, like there are people who are attracted to people who look all different kinds of ways.
And that's perfectly fine. That's what we're saying that also as well too. That's perfectly fine.
Exactly.
The issue is she promoting
an unhealthy lifestyle.
Because to have that physique, you're not necessarily living a healthy lifestyle. Put it that way.
Okay, I have a better example. Sorry, John.
That's fine. Go ahead.
People are gonna hate me for this.
That's fine.
Lizzo.
Go on your
I'm just gonna say it right now. I am not a Lizzo fan. I'm just not into her music. I don't know why. I'm just not into it. And I agree. Like, now I will say recently I've seen a lot of her saying like people think, I don't work out and I don't do this. She's like, but I actually go hiking. I worked out every day. I just want to eat what I want. So I have to exercise to do that, but I'm still the way I look. So I love that I love that she loves herself, but I do think that she waited too long to promote that she's being healthy and taking some care of herself.
100% agree.
She regularly says, oh, McDonald's, oh, I'm eating here, oh, food delivery. Like, it's everything I hear from her is I eat what I want, I do what I want. Like, and I feel like, yeah, you should be able to eat what you want, but you should also be doing the things to, like, if you want to eat McDonald's every day, you got to be doing the things to counter it. Like, anything will burn if the furnace is hot enough. But
promoting that as well too.
Every day, you gotta have a pretty hot furnace. So
yeah, like you're 100% right, because she just started promoting the I eat what I want, but I exercise to eat what I want. That's the thing I think a lot of times people don't say. It's like the person that, like you know, I see a lot, kind of go on a side tangent. You see a lot of like celebrities, for example, that you see them doing a lot of extreme things like partying, smoking, drinking all the time, right? And you
Yeah.
know, a lot of people are like, oh man, this guy parties all the fucking time and has a fucking amazing body, or like they can still do all these things, but they don't promote also like the other things they do. Like, for example, like one thing Joe Rogan, yeah, one thing Joe Rogan talks about, for example, is that he smokes weed like every day, does, you know, drinks quite a bit and all that. But this guy also gets IV drips every week.
Damn.
Yeah, so
The
unless you
money
can
this guy has, though, that would be nice.
exactly, yeah. So that's the part I'm like, well, you can do that if you can also do, you know, afford to do the other thing to counteract what you're doing. And that goes back to the health thing also as well too, where you can eat whatever you want if, you know, you're doing like what Liza's doing. She eats whatever she wants, but she's also exercising, hiking, and all that. The
Did you
issue
say
before,
Liza?
yeah, huh?
Is that her name? Am I saying it wrong?
No, I'm pretty sure that's her name, Liza. Liza. I don't fucking know
I
this
thought it
woman's
was
name.
Lizzo. Oh my God,
That's
I'm an
what I
idiot.
Lizzo, no, I think you're right. No, I think you're right. I think Lizzo. I think I'm the one who's butchering her name. Whatever her name, Mrs. L. Whatever
I
her
thought
fucking
it
name
was
is.
so stupid.
I don't know her name is what. That's so Raven. I don't fucking know.
Okay, that's so rude.
But yeah, but like, if I think the message that a lot of these women needs to do sometimes, or even men as well too, especially men, some of these men out there, need to fucking just be like, show both sides. Yeah, you do all this shit, but also you're doing X, Y, and Z. Like, people always talk about like Dave Chappelle, for example. The dude is a chain smoker, fucking drinks, does all kinds of stuff. But this man also has millions of dollars to afford to all kinds of things to counteract what he does. Same thing if you're out there eating whatever you want and you're like, you know, this kind of a bigger plus size model, you should also kind of promote the other side for other women. They're like, yeah, I do also work out. I love my body because I also do take care of it, and this is the form that it comes in.
Mm.
That's the part that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about. Same thing
Okay,
with like,
I want to do a really quick plug for someone who I don't know and doesn't need a plug. Her name's Gabi Dalkin, and her Instagram is What's Gabi Cooking, and she's amazing, and I love her, and she cooks the craziest, most unhealthy but amazing food, and she just put out a cookbook called Eat What You Want. And my favorite thing about her is exactly what we're talking about right now, is that she eats whatever the hell she wants, and she works out so fucking hard, and she promotes both. She, like, her Instagram handle is literally What's Gabi Cooking. You know she's a chef and that she cooks. And that's like her main thing. People know her for it. But she also is always posting about what her workouts are, what her routines are, and she's promoting all types, like all parts of her life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people would say she's sharing more than, you know, she needs to. Yeah. But I think that she's sharing exactly what she needs to. You know, people can't look at someone who's eating cookies 15 times a day and think, oh my God, I can look like that if I just eat cookies. Like, no, you can't. Like, it doesn't work that way. So she's really good about promoting both things. And I think she's a good opposite of people like how I mentioned Lizzo, who, again, now she's putting out there that she works out, but like, she waited too long, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and the same thing applies to men. Don't think we're just only saying women this, women that. Like, men are the same way. Like, you get a lot of these, you know, especially I think you see it on Instagram a lot. A lot of these people that claim, you know, they achieve their bodies through, you know, whether it's certain workouts or whatever, but not entirely being honest. A lot of them have surgery and then they work out, but they don't tell you about the surgery part. Like, there's actually a pretty funny, I think it's a TikTok page where it's a doctor who actually does surgeries, and he literally has all these videos of his people he's done surgery on that claim they got it through fitness, and he just goes in on all of them.
Damn.
But these people are also selling products. Yeah, they're selling products though, saying, you know, I achieved the, you know, this, you know, 40-inch chest and 19-inch biceps from this workout, but like it's literally like fat reduction surgeries, all that stuff, and then they work out and then take these supplements and all that. But they promote it.
Amazing. Who is this doctor?
I forgot his name. He's an African guy too. He's fucking hilarious. Like I'll literally have to screenshot it send to you.
Yeah. Okay. Let me know, because that's amazing. I really quick, sorry to like totally 180 this, but I want to go back to types of body positivity. And I was just, I told you, John, earlier, hey, can we like postpone 10 minutes? And I want to tell you guys why, because I realized that this is a part of body positivity. So I had a really busy day. I was like cleaning everything before we go on vacation, and I wanted to take a shower and like get all my shit done before I recorded. with you guys. So girls, if you don't know, have different types of showers where like we shower and we rinse off, and that's like a quick shower. Okay. That's like a daily thing. Or we shower and we wash our hair and like whatever. Or we do like a full on exfoliate, shave, wash your hair, like do it all. And that's like a big shower. So I'm about to go on vacation. I did that. And I think that speaks really true to the fact that like I'm sorry, but guys don't do that, right?
I guess it depends. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I just have one standard issue shower. Put
Exactly. So I feel
all the
like
parts
guys,
and keep it on rolling.
I feel like guys pretty much have the same, like a shower is a shower, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, like, about how I got, okay, anyway, that I'm getting off topic, but I took my big shower and I did all my things to look good and feel good for going on vacation. And then I got out of the shower and I looked at my phone. I was like, oh my gosh, I took a really long shower. I need to see if I can postpone this recording. And here's why. Because I got out of the shower and I had more things to do to make sure that I was looking right for this trip. So the first thing I did was I had to put on my fake tan. And like I thought to myself, this is so dumb. Like I was looking, you like sit there and you do it in the mirror so you know where you put it all and you use like your little glove. And I was like, I feel like such a clown right now. Like I'm looking at myself and this is so freaking weird. Who am I doing this for? Like nobody fucking cares if I'm tan. And I realized I was doing it for myself. Like I like the way that I look when I'm tan, and I haven't been like outdoors that much, which I hate for myself.
Yeah.
But so I'm putting on like my self tanner because that is what makes me feel positive about the way I look. That's something not real, but not scale related, you know?
Yeah.
And then another thing I did was I mentioned, so again, I'm a hairy person. So like I get my face waxed, like the whole thing, or dermaplaning where they like scrape off all of like the fuzz around your forehead and your face. And it scrapes off your dead skin. But I just moved here right before we all got locked inside for months and months. So I have yet to find a salon where I feel comfortable doing that here in Richmond. Or, maybe I shouldn't have said where I live. Whatever. And places where I would try, like they're not open to doing like face touching procedures right now. So like I've had to do stuff myself. So I sat in the bathroom and I did my own dermaplaning and it sucked and I haven't done it in years. But like, again, I had to postpone something that we've been planning for literal weeks just because I was so concerned with how I looked for myself.
Yeah, and so that kind of goes full circle with what we were talking about. You know, like this is just kind of your personal goals or definition of what body positivity is to you. You feel good, so that's body positive, from what I'm understanding, right?
Yeah, like I don't like. Let me tell you, nobody else is gonna notice that I shaved the baby hairs around my hairline so that my makeup would apply evenly. I don't even wear makeup, so I literally have no reason to do this. Like no one in the world is gonna notice this, but it just helps me feel good about myself. Like I don't know, my face feels smoother and I don't know. I have no reason to do it other than it's like a positive thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, I guess to wrap this up, it's just, I guess the message that we're trying to have is that, it's your body. You can do whatever you want, and body positivity kind of depends on who you ask and what you define personally. But the issue, or I guess issue is the word, is when you try to push those ideologies onto someone else, that's kind of counteractive and to body positivity. You should be accepting of someone whether they lose weight or whether they, like that shouldn't be a negative thing when someone loses weight and trying to better themselves.
Yeah, just promote
as long as they're taking care of themselves.
Yeah,
exactly.
To the best of their ability and their knowledge.
Yeah,
promote healthy. Just promote being healthy at the end of the day, because like there's nothing positive about being unhealthy.
Yeah,
and whether that's shown aesthetically or internally based off maybe like having a hard time walking around and stuff like that. At the end of the day, we should be honest with our peers. And if you're a person of influence, you have like almost a duty to be honest. If you're a model out there and at the end of the day, you have millions and millions of girls that view you as a standard or something of the sort. I would say that you should be a little bit more honest.
Mm.
Be honest about it. Like whether you're Tess Holiday or Ashley Graham or whoever, you're Chris Hemsworth or whatever. Just be, the more honest you are, I think the better off more people are, because people do take things very literal for the most part. And at the end of the day, there are other cultures that have pretty healthy societies, and you see how they are. So it's not impossible. And I think this whole word we kept using, unattainable, something that should kind of be like almost diminished, because it is possible to live in a healthy society. Like there are countries and places where people are living to like fucking 100 years old, and that's the average.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I 100% agree with you. Yeah, so like I said, Emily, you started your own tie-dye shirt business type of thing, I guess.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, and so they look really, really dope. You want to tell the listeners a little bit about it, just where they can find you and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I'm only on Instagram right now, but looking to expand that. It's called, so the Instagram handle is LOL Dyeing, but spelled LOLDYEING. So like tie dyeing. LOL, I'm dying. And basically I don't know, I'm really crafty, so I've been tie dyeing all of the things since I have been able to go nowhere and do nothing, and I can't keep all of them, so I want to sell them to everybody for a very good price. So check it out, please.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And then when we hit a goal of ours, we should do a giveaway.
Yes, totally. Giveaway. I'll give away whatever the people want.
Cool.
Winner's choice.
Tie-dyed van.
Sure. It might take a couple thousand years, but I'll do my best.
We will keep you updated on that. It'll be very soon, so be on the lookout for that. If you like this podcast, or if you hated it, still smash that like button, follow button. Hope to continue this conversation. Follow us on our social media platforms. Instagram is Puzzled Minds Podcast. Our Twitter is Puzzled Minds Pod. And our email is puzzledmindspodcast@gmail.com, where we do encourage anyone and everyone to have a topic sent to us. That way we can discuss it in the next episode. Last but not least, thank you again, Official Block of the Week, for the weekly episode cover art that we have. And other than that, everyone stay puzzled.